Good morning and welcome to the YMCA of Northern Alberta's Community Town Hall to hear more and ask questions regarding the closure of the Westwood YMCA. My name is Michelle and I'm a member of the YMCA team, and I'm happy to be your facilitator for this morning's discussion. Before we get started, I'll run down how things will work this morning and how you can participate. So first we'll hear from Nick Parkinson, our President and CEO of the YMCA of Northern Alberta. Once Nick is finished, he would be happy to take any questions or hear your comments that you might want to share. To ask a question, you can simply type it into the chat or you can raise your hand and my colleague Asim and I will read your question or comment or call on you to speak. Excuse me. Our session this morning is going to be 1 hour. So as we near the end of our time, we'll let you know. And if there are any questions that have been submitted that we didn't get to, no worries. Early next week, we'll be posting the recording of this morning's town hall, as well as all questions and answers on our website, which can be found anytime at northernalberta.ymca.ca/Westwood. Right now, I'll turn it over to Nick Parkinson, our President and CEO of the YMCA of Northern Alberta.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the YMCA of Northern Alberta and for taking the time to discuss this very difficult decision to permanently close the Westwood Family YMCA. Ideally, we'd like to be doing this in person, but obviously with the ongoing pandemic, it's important that we take all the precautions and to keep everybody safe. To start this morning, I want to thank you for being such strong supporters and ambassadors of the YMCA over the years. And it goes without saying that 2020 has been a very, very tough year. Like many other organizations, the ongoing COVID pandemic is having a significant impact on our YMCA, not only in Wood Buffalo, but also in Grand Prairie, in Red Deer, and the Edmonton regions. As you know, on Wednesday, we announced that the Westwood Family Y, which has been closed since March, will not be reopening and is closed permanently after 34 years of service in the community. As we know, the Westwood facility was more than just a fitness center and a pool. It was a place for members young and old who could come together to find community, to connect and belong, thrive, and improve their health and well-being. Everybody at the YMCA certainly shares this feeling of sadness and disappointment with the decision that we've made. But while it's very difficult to close the doors on the Westwood Family Y, the center is simply not a sustainable operation, not only in the short term, but in the long term. As a charity that's dedicated to serving the community of Wood Buffalo, we cannot afford to operate and lose money. Since 2013, the center has experienced decreased revenue and membership levels. We've seen increased competition in the marketplace. We've seen increased rising costs in our building repairs and our labor costs. And the bottom line, the Westwood Y was simply not in a financial position to weather the lasting impacts of the COVID pandemic. However, I think it's really important, and I want to make it very clear, the Westwood's closure is not the end of the Y in Wood Buffalo. We are extremely proud to continue to serve the community through our 7 YMCA childcare centers, our 9 community and housing programs, and through the operation of the Eagle Ridge Community Center, which will reopen fully on Monday, November the 9th. We remain deeply committed to Wood Buffalo and to finding new ways to innovate and offer programs and opportunities for everyone to come together and connect and belong and thrive. With that said, we know this announcement is no doubt extremely difficult for the dedicated and hardworking employees and the members of the Westwood Family Y. And I do want to take a minute just to personally extend my deepest gratitude and appreciation to the 18 full-time staff and the 80 part-time employees of the Y. For their dedication and commitment, and for truly making the center a community. To our 3,200 members, I'm so grateful for your unwavering support and commitment and loyalty to the Westwood Y over the years. And since we've made this announcement on Wednesday, some dedicated members have asked the RMWB and others in the community to step up and support the Westwood Y, to keep it open and to help us get us through the pandemic. And while we're grateful for your passion and love for the Y, please know that the financial struggles of the center are not only short-term, and funding is not, and the RMWB funding is not a long-term solution. I think it is important for you to know that we have been working very closely with the RMWB over the last 3 or more months. And here's some background I think it is important for you to know that has helped inform our decision. In the past, the YMCA of Northern Alberta has relied heavily on and been receiving funding support through the RMWB's Community Investment Program and their Sustaining Grant Program. And over the last several years, it was approximately about $225,000, or about 10% of our operating expenses. In March, we were forced to close all of our health and fitness centers due to the provincial state of emergency. And what we're finding now is centers are attempting to reopen, not only in Wood Buffalo, but in Ys across Alberta and across the country. We're seeing dramatically reduced membership numbers, which ultimately are impacting the financial viability of health, fitness, and aquatic centers. And given the financial position the Westwood Y was in pre-COVID, and now with the devastating impact of the pandemic, you know, the financial viability has been magnified, and not only in the short term, but also in the long term. Almost $1 million would be required in 2021 for the Westwood Family Y to be sustainable. And this would represent approximately an increase from 10% of expenses to now 65% of its expenses. We also know that this funding would likely need to be required over multiple years, and we would likely need to see an increase in that funding support. So after extensive discussions with the city administration, the YMCA did not submit a final application for the grant funding for 2021. And given the magnitude of the funding that would be needed to support the elements such as employee salaries that understandably just don't meet the grant criteria. In addition to this significant operating subsidy, the other factor that we needed to consider was the age of the facility and the need for significant building improvements. After the decreasing membership numbers, the YMCA would need to probably invest anywhere from $2 to $4 million in the facility. And so it's for these main reasons that we've made this very, very difficult decision to permanently close the Westwood Y. As I'm sure you can appreciate, as a charity, we cannot operate a facility that's going to lose money. Those days are gone in light of the COVID pandemic. We would be putting all of our programs and services in Wood Buffalo, as well as perhaps some of the other programs and services in the entire YMCA of Northern Alberta. So I wanted to provide a bit of that context. I hope that was helpful and give you a little bit more background. That kind of concludes my opening remarks, and I'd be happy to open it up for any questions that people may have. Thank you.
So we don't see any questions yet. Just a reminder that you can type your question in the chat, or feel free to raise your hand and we can call on you to ask a question.
Well, we're just pausing to see if there are any questions. I perhaps would just add that we will be opening the health and wellness programs at the Eagle Ridge Community Center on Monday. If you would like to visit our website at northernalberta.ymca.ca, you can find a program schedule as we start to get those programs and services back up. All members of the YMCA Westwood facility will have free access to those programs until the end of December. And the other thing that we would be offering and providing our members is the MacDonald Island has kindly provided a 1 month free access to any YMCA Westwood member. Simply go down and show your membership card and you will be given a 1 month access to their programs and services, and that will expire on February 1st of 2021. We seen any questions, Michelle? Or
Nope, no questions in, so I think we'll leave it at that. For any of those that might have questions later, we'll certainly post this on our website, as we mentioned, northernalberta.ymca.ca, and you can get in contact with us by Westwood at northernalberta.ymca.ca through email. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.